Hey guys, I'm Davey Wavey, creator of the gay erotic website Himeros.tv, and today I am joined by sex coach Finn Deerhart and my best friend Matthew Thomas. And today we are talking about erotic massages and the power of touch. Did I ever share my mantra with you guys?
You have many.
Which one?
It's touch my butt and buy me tacos.
No, I've never heard that one.
No, not on the same night. Not on the same night, but
why not?
No.
Tacos and touch my butt.
Why not? It's a great night.
Himeros Live is sponsored by Himeros.tv. Created by Davey Wavey, Himeros.tv has everything that you love about porn, the models, the cum shots, the fucking, and combines it with authenticity, pleasure, and sexual exploration through explicit erotic videos co-created by a team of gay sex experts, all designed to give you the best gay sex of your life. Join today for 20% off at Himeros.tv/sale. Himeros.tv, it's like porn, but better. I think that's actually like a fallacy that like if you eat Mexican food you can't bottom, because like it doesn't get processed that quickly, right? Like it takes like 12 hours to go through your system. You don't instantly just shit yourself.
I just believe what you've always said.
But it kind of makes you gassy.
You've always said that, typically Mexican or any like spicy, greasy meal, no, afterwards. I'm just like, oh, well, that's what he says. He knows better than me. Okay.
I say all sorts of stupid things. Don't listen to me. I do think though, after I eat Mexican food, it feels very heavy in my belly.
Mm-hmm.
So then I feel less sexy, but I don't think I'm like instantly having explosive diarrhea. I think that happens like 10 hours later.
What about gas?
Oh yeah, that's a little bit quicker.
Right. That can be within an hour or two.
Has science, like, is there research on this?
I'm sure. It's not my science.
Everyone's body's different. I mean, some people don't do number 2 every day. So, I'm going to take it there, but I mean, everybody that I've been with, if I'm me topping them bottoming, it's like if it's like a greasy meal, they would prefer not to, but I've never gotten into the whys. I've just been like, okay.
Wow, that's my nightmare. It's my definition of hell is like if I didn't do a bowel movement when I woke up in the morning. I can't imagine not shitting every day. I shit like 3 times a day.
Yeah, a couple times.
Like who are these people? These people?
That's
speaking
of
science.
You need to do that every day.
Speaking of science, this isn't in our things to-do list of items to cover, but I do want to mention I watched this Netflix documentary on, I think it was called like Ahead of the Curve or something, and it's about flat earthers, people who think that the earth is flat.
Mm-hmm.
And
people still think this?
Girl, my personal trainer at the gym thinks that the earth is flat.
No way.
There's like this entire community of people, like it's largely online, it's like YouTube based, that have built this community, and when you watch it, you're kind of like, all right, is this even about the earth being flat? Like they have these conventions that they go to and like these t-shirts and license plates. I think part of it is just like the feeling of belonging to something. I think it's the same reason like that people watch my YouTube channel. Like we're kind of like the outcast. It's like a place to come together and they're in pursuit of this like higher cause, right? For them, it's that the earth is flat, but you could substitute it with anything else. They kind of bond over that. But they interviewed this woman for NASA and she was like, okay, like on one hand, who gives a shit? Right? Like if people think that the earth is flat, like, they're not paying my bills, like who cares? But on the other hand, it's a small step from saying like the earth is flat to, despite all the science that exists showing otherwise, to saying that like, hey, I know there's a lot of science about how humans are contributing to climate change, but like it was cold this morning when I woke up. So like, that they're like, we have to live in a world where there's science and there's facts, and it almost like ties into Donald Trump and like fake news. You can start to like connect the dots. It was actually a really profound documentary, which I recommend. It's frustrating because it's a bunch of people. I think it's called like Ahead of the Curve. It's a bunch of people that are like, well, if the earth is really spinning and flying through space, why doesn't it feel like it?
This is on Netflix?
Yeah, this is on Netflix. Or like when I look at the horizon, it doesn't look curved. And it's like people's inability to step outside their own experience and like trust science, even if it's not a test that they could personally replicate. I don't know. It's really interesting.
It's also like a lack of flexible thinking, it seems like it's about creating safety, and they must be really scared. That's an assumption, but I mean, I would say too, my feeling about that is like, if you jettison science so much that you would believe something that's an asinine worldview, how in what other ways might you be, not all there?
Well,
I know it's a judgment. I know I'm judging. Just don't say that.
Yeah. Well, Matt, like, what do they think when they see like pictures of the Earth from space, where it's obviously round, right? Like, they think it's not true.
No, do they think if it's flat, is there an edge? Like, can you walk off the Earth? Like, that's my question. I'm like, okay, well, why don't we go find the edge? Like, let's do this.
Yeah, they're like funding expeditions. Antarctica, they think, is a wall, and there's a dome above us, like the fucking Truman Show. Wow. And like, that's what they honestly. That's what. Is
it
think.
Terrible that I kind of find this a little comical? Like, I want to meet these people.
I know. Well, yeah, come to my gym. It's almost like is what's more likely, that tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people would have to be involved in this cover up, that the Earth is like, that the Earth is fucking flat. Right. And that we live in a dome that who the fuck built, that we're all like underneath, oblivious to it, or that in fact the Earth is round and there's a thing called gravity and we are in fact like in space, and that like everything we've seen from NASA and science and experimentation is in fact true and not a conspiracy.
I just want to know, like, what are their facts based on? Like, I would really want to like just understand how they've constructed this idea in their mind to be true, because there are too many facts that say otherwise.
Well, we'll save part 2 for another day. Anyway, it's just
I'm watching this documentary tonight.
Facts don't matter to people though that are like, if you're believing something that's still called delusional thinking, right? If you believe something delusional, you could show proof all day and it won't matter.
Yeah, and they'll just say it doesn't feel like I'm spinning.
Exactly. Yeah, when I was a little kid, in the church, they would have like these preachers come through that would be like, the reason evolution isn't true, and they would like have all these big, just like experiments that they would say like, oh, people and dinosaurs really lived together at the same time, and your teachers at school are lying to you, and all this kind of stuff. And they would show, like facts or whatever about these and fossils that they had found apparently that had like people and dinosaurs together, but. It was a mind fuck as a kid. I'd be like getting 2 different stories, at school, and my teachers were talking.
What school you go to?
Did you get vaccinated? Did you get vaccinated when you were?
I did. I also got baptized when I was a child.
Because that's another thing, is like the anti-vaxxers, like it's all connecting. These kids that are fucking like, not vaccinated because their parents think that it's like part of some conspiracy. Right. So. Anyway, yeah, check it out. Hey, so how have you guys been this week? What's going on?
I've been good. I've been doing a lot of coaching this week and loving that process.
Yeah. What have you been working on, Matt?
Traveling like a fool, getting ready for this lunch on me stuff coming at the end of the month. So, yeah.
Lunch stuff, what'd you say?
Lunch on me stuff. We're going to be doing another round of that at the end of the month. So trying to get that together and create relationships with a couple of new partners. So it's been going well, though.
For people who weren't listening last week, Lunch on Me is a program that feeds people in LA and New York now?
LA and New York. We're trying to get to a point where we're going to do it probably 2 to 3 times a week. But we're not there yet. We're still at once a month right now. But the goal is hopefully by August, we'll be able to do it 2 to 3 times a week, every week. So,
and what's the language that they use? Because I noticed last week you didn't say homeless. You said something else.
The street community.
Street community. Yeah.
Because when you talk to someone, I mean, no one wants to be called homeless. I mean, it's a better way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have plans to come to San Francisco, or
what's that?
Plans to bring that to San Francisco too?
Yeah, eventually. It was created by my friend Larea. She started it probably about 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry, 3 weeks ago, 3 years ago. Right?
Wow.
3 years ago. And she feeds 10,000 homeless people on Skid Row every month.
Wow.
So
actually, we call them the street community.
The street community, exactly. I stand corrected. But she wanted to bring it to New York, and myself and another good friend of hers, Ashley, and I have kind of spearheaded it for her. So last month it went really, really well. So we're excited to do it again at the end of the month and just keep growing it from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the reason we're recording this a day early this week is because I'm leaving tomorrow because Chad and I, my boyfriend, we're going to Hong Kong for a week. And pretty much right as soon as we get back, we're filming a project in Joshua Tree. So in like 10 days. And I don't think we've really talked much about it, but we're working with Jason Tantra, and we have 4 models, and it's a bunch of videos designed to help you be a better lover. So it's going to be really fun and really juicy. I'm excited about the models that we're working with. Finn, you had mentioned that, I guess, speaking of being a better lover, you've been working through some verbal, vocal, I don't know what, inhibitions with your partner, Sam.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, it depends, in my past, like when I would hook up, I would have like a dirty mouth and just say whatever I wanted to say. But I think that, with a boyfriend, it's always been a little challenging, and it's been challenging up until recently with Sam too. So yeah.
Why does it feel more challenging in a relationship versus not being in one?
I think because the level, it kind of depends, I guess. Everybody's very different, right? But the level of intimacy that I share with him, and I think just the person that I am, right, when I'm intimate with somebody, I've had a lot of shame and sexuality to work through. So it's just been hard. And it's not the same for everybody, but I do hear that quite a lot. Like, you can just be really uninhibited naturally when you're with a hookup. And with a boyfriend, just feel like, oh God, like if I express, it's just ingrained in us. It's not like a conscious choice, but it's like kind of holding back a little bit and not really just being balls to the wall, like, like I would be normally.
Does it make you feel vulnerable? Like if you, yeah.
It's like I'll say it in my head and be like, my mouth is opening, like I want to say it so bad. But just feel like, because also there's, with a stranger, I would feel like, oh, I don't care if he like judges me or whatever.
You're not going to see him tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about like asking for what you like, the validation or the gratitude, whatever it is you need from your partner. That like, I think it was a counselor, and she was like, look, like I worked with this woman who, she was a stay-at-home mom, and like all she wanted her husband to say was like, thank you for like raising our kids and for like, cooking such delicious meals for our family. But she never thought to ask him for like what it was that she needed to hear. And it's almost like we treat our lovers like they're enemies, because if they know this information about us, like it could be used against us, right? That they could either deny it from us, or they could see where we're vulnerable or where we're insecure. But that there is something really powerful about opening up and talking.
Yeah, and it feels amazing too, like, because the sensation follows when your energy opens up, then it feels even more intense. And so, and it's been something that I've worked on for a while, and we've talked about this actually on here before, but it's just something about like when you're not opening your mouth and saying what you want to say, it just holds everything up. And I think my subconscious thing is like, if I say this, everything's going to screech to a halt, and he'll just like look at me like, and then makes it funny instead of actually, like you were just saying, Davey, like it's a vulnerability, so yeah.
Are there exercises that you can do? Like, how are you working, or do you just like force yourself to say things?
I've been just like pushing myself to say things. Yeah. And it really creates a chain reaction. Then it goes back and forth. And then it's just, but yeah, I do tell people, even in coaching, like set aside a time to do that. Like if that's something you want to work on, you preface it all by saying like, we're going to say some stuff right now. We might laugh about this. This is okay. And you just make it like contained in a way that feels like, oh, if we fuck this up, it's totally fine. And
I think I would laugh. I mean, I don't know, like, Matt, can you imagine, like, maybe, I think you talk probably dirtier than I do, but I feel like if I were to say to Chad, like, oh yeah, like, I think he would just start laughing at me. Like we were so goofy with each other.
I go too far sometimes. Like he'll look at me and be like, you're saying too much right now. It's funny in the moment. It's funny, and we can get right back into it. But yeah, sometimes I go a little too far.
I want to know.
What's too
I want to know
far?
what you say. Like, what do you say?
What's too far?
Like he'll say to me like, I want you to just say something nasty to me, and I'll say something that's pretty fucking nasty, and he'll be like, no, that's not what I meant, and it's
So,
just like it's a funny moment.
Is nasty like, oh, your hole tastes so good?
That's not nasty.
No.
What? Like, give me a direction. Like, I need some sort of like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know. Like, what would nasty be?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like he could be sucking my dick, and he'll look up at me, and he'll like, no, and you know what? No.
Like, I'm gonna shit on your face.
No. Not like that. I don't know. Like, I think that I'm learning that I need to ease him into dirty talk. So some of the things that I know I feel very comfortable saying, for him, it's just a lot. Maybe it's not as nasty as he thinks that it is.
Right.
I don't know.
I just want a fucking example of what like nasty talk is. Is it like
offline?
Oh my God. Is it like suck my daddy dick? Like, is that nasty? Like,
no.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
So intrigued now.
Wow. All right. So, speaking of opening your mouth, see how good I am with transitions this week? I've really been working on this.
You're good at this.
Yeah. Speaking of opening your mouth, last week we talked about glory holes. That's good, right? And so in a couple weeks, there is a video, actually in like 10 days or something, called Glory Hole that's going to be on Himeros.tv. And last week I had mentioned that I wanted to purchase a glory hole for my house. Do we remember this conversation? Do we remember this conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just got these like blank looks. I was like,
I'm like, because I saw the text message of the picture and neither of you said anything. I was like, glory hole question mark.
Okay.
And
we were like, Avi.
I was like, I hope so, but I'm like, I don't know your little craft project. I was like, is that what this is?
Back up. Yes, there was a text message exchange. So last week I said I was going to buy a glory hole online. I move quick. I don't wait for anybody. And so this thing's like done, delivered, and tested. And actually I've already filmed 2 YouTube videos about this that are going to come up. So first of all, I thought that I could go on like Etsy or Amazon.com and order a glory hole, right? Like you can get anything online. It literally, there's one website that sells glory holes and they start at like $300.
Whoa.
And like, yeah, and they go up to like $650. And it's a canvas. It's like a canvas and a pole that you hang in your doorway. Like, I was like, is there fucking financing options available? Can I mortgage this like a house? So I was not going to spend $650 fucking dollars on a glory hole. So what I did was I went on Amazon and I bought a black curtain and a tension rod that you can like put across a doorway for like $20, less than $20. And I started in this whole DIY glory hole journey. And there's some engineering and some math involved, but I created this fabulous glory hole and I documented it so that I can share it with you all, which I'll put into a YouTube video so that people at home can explore with this too. But also, and I was also thinking like if someone spent $650 on a glory hole, it has like pockets for your lube and like hand sanitizer and like, you know, like a section for your tissues. Like like glory holes are supposed to be scrappy, right? Like they're supposed to be like I don't know. I just think I would be like laughing if I went to a glory hole. Yeah.
That's what it is. You just nasty.
Well, I was like, what's $650? Like, is there an LED screen like around the hole where it like morphs into your like favorite Hollywood celebrity or like male model or something while you're getting your dick sucked? I don't know if it does that, but
cool, though.
Yeah. So,
have you tried any virtual reality things like that?
I had sex with a woman in virtual reality.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was super uncomfortable. It felt more like, well, I mean, I put on the headset and I like looked down. I had this giant dick. I was this like big dick, like straight guy, and you can hear it. And I was like in a forest. I was like laying on the floor, and there was this woman with these braids, and she was like standing on top of me, and then she was like, looks into your eyes. And so I was like nervous. So I kept looking away, but she doesn't. And so she came in to like kiss me, and I was like, I don't want to be kissed. And she doesn't care because it's a movie that's playing. Right. And so she goes in and she starts kissing you, even though you don't want. I'm like, oh my God, this is like sexual assault. Like, like I'm not into this. And then she just like hops on my big straight dick and was just like riding it. And I got virtual reality raped, I think.
Did you get turned on? Yeah, it's a hashtag.
No, I got raped. Yeah, no.
Wait, where was this?
It was in this girl, Ella Darling. She's like a sex like performer, model, like virtual reality, like nerd techie person. I was at her house and she was like, "Here, try this on."
Wow.
I know. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
About what?
Just the whole thing. I just didn't expect you to say that you had sex with a woman and if you weren't turned on at all, like it wasn't, I guess because you're masturbating too, right?
I wasn't masturbating and no, I wasn't turned on. Maybe I wasn't clear about this, but Finn, I got raped.
Have you done it before, Finn?
No. But I'm curious. I'm just curious, like, what is this even like exciting, or is this just kind of stupid? I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily want to get raped by a woman in virtual reality, but
like, what does the person look like? A normal person like you and I, or does it look like a cartoonish like virtual reality figure? Like, does it look real? It looks real.
Well, it doesn't look real. It was real. It was filmed with a camera.
Ah.
But the clarity of it still feels like you're looking at it through a screen. Like I wasn't like, oh, this is real life. But the sounds are weird because it's like 360-degree audio. So like birds are flying by and stuff, and like leaves are rustling behind you. It's very, it sends your body on a kind of like your senses get a little fucked when you're in it. Anyway, I sucked a dick through the glory hole.
Oh, okay.
That's where we're going with this. And I made a whole YouTube video about this, so I'll spare the details, but I did it with a friend because I was a little nervous about like I wasn't getting the full experience of anonymously sucking someone. But for my first like getting my toes wet, I thought it was good. So I had a friend come over who I trusted, and I felt, I guess what was weird is that usually when I have sex with someone, it's like a full body experience. I lick their toes, I play with their nipples, I kiss their neck, whatever. But this is like everything's isolated to the dick. So it's like when you go to the gym, there's like compound exercises that work your full body, right? Or there's isolation exercises. And this felt like an isolation exercise. That's my analogy. Like it was all dick all the time. And so instead of like sucking the dick and then moving on to something else, you're forced to just stay with the dick, which is weird.
Relentless.
And after 10 minutes, I was kind of like, I was a little bit bored.
You know, though, aren't there missing dynamics there though? Like if it's not necessarily just the anonymity, but like I don't know. Usually in those scenarios, there's like some fear. There's some like, am I going to get caught? Traditionally, so you're already going to be, if it's in your house, it's a safer bet in some ways, right? But some of the energy that comes from it is like being in a public place, maybe where you might get busted or you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. I think I numbed a lot of that. Like certainly this would have been heightened if I was afraid the police might catch me, or like if I didn't know the guy. So that's probably part of it. So after 10 minutes, I was like, why don't we switch? I guess that probably doesn't usually happen, but awesome. So we switched sides. Okay. So we switched sides and he became the sucky. And actually I enjoyed that a lot more. I think because for me, it was like, I don't know, like maybe something about the power dynamic was interesting. Like I felt like he was like serving my dick and like pleasuring me, and he was just like a vessel for like my cock. I actually had to hold on to the door frame because I was like a little bit like I was gonna fall over, I think, at a certain point.
Wow.
And I usually don't like my dick sucked that much. Like it's not that I don't like my dick sucked, but it's not, I'd rather have my toe sucked than my dick sucked. So anyway,
Awesome.
you guys saw a picture of the glory hole.
Yeah. That's
Were
really
you
cool.
impressed with my craftsmanship?
I was, and I'm actually just impressed that you're experimenting really in that way. I think it's cool.
Thanks. I needed that validation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that glory hole video is coming to Himeros TV on March 18th. Mark your calendar, set a reminder on your iPhone, do whatever you need to do because girls can change your life. You guys saw it, right?
I haven't seen that video yet. No.
Girl, I sent you the link. You keep telling me I didn't send you the link. I sent you the link last week.
No, I know you sent me the link. I said I haven't seen it yet.
Is there other stuff in your life that you do other than this podcast?
Oh my God. It's been like a marathon. the last 3 or 4 weeks I've been like, can I sustain this?
All right. So speaking of Himeros TV videos, this week's video is titled
Did you write your transitions down?
No, not if I should have.
They're like turnarounds to like a chord progression.
Yeah. Well, that was that video. Now this week's video is called Erotic Massage for Beginners, and it features Cade Maddox alongside men.com exclusive Diego Sanz. So basically the video features some techniques and tips for guys that want to try an erotic massage, but maybe haven't done it. They don't have a lot of experience. Maybe they're afraid to try it. I actually really enjoy incorporating massages into my hookups, especially if there's like issues that are going on. Like if I'm having trouble connecting with the guy, or if like he's not getting hard, or like if there's some sort of, it's a good way to step back and be like, all right, let's connect. Like, let's play with touch. Let's relax. Let's get sensual. And I think it also like establishes some communication because you're asking like what feels good and like where they want to be touched or where they don't want to be touched, and harder or softer, what feels good. So I've also, like when I've suggested massage, a lot of guys have said to me like, oh, I would love to, but I don't know how to do it. And I think the truth is, like, if you're present and you're mindful about like how you touch someone, and if you touch them, I think with the right intent, it does, like, it's hard to touch someone with the right intent in a very mindful way without like that feeling good. But I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny how like touch is so powerful that like you can feel someone's intent, or like if someone's being mindful or not. Have you ever had a massage, either of you, where you felt like the person was mindless, or like you've been touched in a way where like the intent like felt violating? Or
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very much so.
Most of them,
many times.
Right.
Really? Yeah. I mean, actually, it's interesting because I used to want that when I was, when I was in the closet, I would seek that out, like someone to be kind of crossing boundaries with me, but not in an intentional way. And since then, even I've just had massages where I felt like I'm being taken from, or, this wasn't what we talked about, or, it wasn't like something that we decided on.
So this is not a paid massage. This is like a hookup massage.
Both.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A paid massage where someone's taking from you?
Yeah, totally.
I've had that too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah. I had that in Palm Springs. I used an app called Soothe where you can like order a massage like an Uber, and they come to your house, and like all he did was like see how close he could get to touching my dick, like over and over again. And I was getting hard, not because I was like turned on by it, but just because of the touch. And I just wanted a fucking like relaxing massage. And I'm like, I'm paying, it's not cheap. It's like $115 fucking dollars. And like, here he is like taking from me.
So what did you do, Dave?
Well, I let him blow me. No, I said at the end that I didn't want to. At the end, you get to like review the person, and you get to say if you would want to work with them again. And I said I don't want to work with him again. That next time I want someone else. It also was like, it was in a way that I felt like if I wrote he violated me during this massage, like there wasn't a point where he like grabbed my dick.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like those like subtle, it felt like he knew what he was doing, and it felt like he was intentionally like trying to cross that line, but he never did anything that was like explicitly crossing the line.
Mm-hmm.
So then I felt bad saying I felt like he had the wrong intention with this. It's just kind of a like, do you know what I mean? I probably
you can feel it. Now, have you heard of the wheel of consent?
You talked about this last week. Yeah, I think.
Did I? Yeah, it's like, it's a way, it's divided into 4 quadrants, and it's like we can feel that in the touch, and it's clarifying. It's actually really awesome just to know anyway for lovers, or for any kind of purpose with touch. But is this touch for me as the receiver, or is it, me, the giver? Like, what intention do I have? Or like offering myself up as a gift to be taken from is actually a really big need, too. But if it's being done when we didn't say that it's okay to be taken from, then it's a violation, and it gets all muddy. And if you're not communicating, or if you have no way to really even know the nuances around that, then it's easy to get confused. And
what's like fucked up about all of this is that like when I watch porn, I enjoy like videos where it's like a masseuse and like someone being massaged, or like a doctor's office, and the masseuse like touches the person in the way that I was being touched on that table. And yet like I think it's hot when I'm watching it in a porn, because that's also fantasy and not real life. But I've definitely rubbed a couple dozen ones out to like a good massage video on Pornhub.
Yeah, I mean, think about things like that too, and I'm being sexual sometimes, like, oh, I didn't want this, or I'm like, I have to do this, it's like something that my fantasy mind might say. But it's very different because it means something in fantasy that doesn't mean in reality.
Exactly.
It's like a permission slip to express. It's not like that I want that to happen, Right.
Now, have you ever had an erotic massage?
With 2 different people.
Was it like in the professional capacity, or was it like in like through a date or something?
It was through a date. It was someone that I was with. They're both times with people that I was with. And the first couple of times with the first person, I really never enjoyed it because they didn't really take their time with it. It was, okay, I massaged your back, turn over. Now let me go after your dicks. So it just was kind of like, it wasn't I mean, it was relaxing, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. But at the time, I also didn't know how to like express myself. I just kind of went with it. Like, okay, this is, I guess, how it should be, even though it just didn't feel right. And
you don't want to be coaching someone. Like if you're getting a massage, like you want to be like, oh, like go like
yeah. But I mean, but then what's funny is with my current boyfriend, he asked me a lot. Do you like this? Do you want me to do this? So it's like that for me allowed me to say, well, actually, could we do this? Or could you do that? And that experience with him has been a lot better. A lot better.
When you get a massage in the office, like even if it's not an erotic massage, they often do that. They'll ask you like what type of touch you want, like what pressure. Are there places in your body that you want extra tension, places to avoid? And I think when you're with a partner, like that's a great way to explore their body and discover them. And
totally,
I think it's real, especially if you have some like nice oil. You kind of get
that's like, right.
And then
that eucalyptus oil.
Oh God, no! Would they make me get burned?
No,
I don't know. I use a coconut oil that's really nice right now. I like.
This it's by a company called Spa Day. Oh my God, it smells great. It's great. It's great.
Mine that I'm using right now, here, you guys talk amongst yourself. I'm gonna get it because it's really good. I want to figure out what the label's called.
Eucalyptus doesn't burn your dick or ass when you put it on there?
No, it's just an oil. It's a scented oil. Oh,
so it's not like because I've had eucalyptus oil and put it in a bath before, and it like burnt my nuts. Like it was
no.
It's horrible.
No.
So it's
funny because I had never heard of it. Like years ago, Dave had just mentioned the scent to me, so I've just sworn by it. And I just found this brand Spa Day earlier last year that I just fell in love with, and I've stuck with it.
This is a recurring thing. You really assign a lot of value to the stuff that I say.
I mean, you are my best friend for a reason. I just don't know if you realize that, but yeah, just
sure,
a little bit.
Fooled you. So here's the one that I like. I think this is like 30 or 40 bucks for this little thing. I'm holding it up on a podcast that's helpful for everyone. It's by Anne Marie, and it's coconut body oil, 100 milliliters.
What does
Anne Marie
smell
skincare.
like? Does it smell like very like coconut oily?
It has a little hint of like herbs. And let's see. I'm gonna do a little application right now. Oh, girl, it smells so good. I wish it said what the actual ingredients were.
Where'd you get it?
I got it in Key West.
Oh.
But I'm sure you can order that shit online.
Anne Marie.
When you're ordering your glory hole.
So Anne Marie.
If I was more of an entrepreneur, I would like package these glory holes up in kits and sell them for like $49, like pre-cut. Maybe like $69 because you're paying for
writing on it already, like it's a bathroom stall. People's phone.
Yeah, I'll put a cutout of my face on it. Limited edition. Because and this is why they charge $650 is because you're not paying for the fabric, you're paying for the experience. Like you're paying for like what it brings to your life. And so anyway, I think there's something there.
Juices to make them out of poster board.
You've gone to a house where it was a poster board glory hole?
No, I've known someone that just made one out of poster board. Yeah.
Now, what are you shaking your head for?
Because when I was on Grindr, when I used to work in Portland, Maine, there was a guy that I was talking to that made one out of like cardboard, and he sent me a picture of it, and he wanted me to come over his house. And I just kind of looked at this thing, and I'm like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!" Like it was literally just like in a little arts and crafts job. It was terrible. Yeah.
What do you want? Like a Louis Vuitton print? Like
chill out.
Limp.
We're gonna really dive into the glory holes in a deep way, no pun intended, in a couple weeks. So we'll save all the amazing stories for that. But I'm very curious. All right, so. By the way, there's also a YouTube video, speaking of erotic massages, where Diego Sands gives me an erotic massage, in which he definitely stuck his tongue inside my butt during the video. And I had to cut it out of YouTube because you can't show that. But he's actually really good with his hands. And as it turns out, not too bad with his tongue either. Oh, my God. So
and that happened.
Anyway, so check that out. That's on the internets. We're going to get into some questions. We're doing it different this week because we're going to answer questions from people on Instagram. There's like 300. They're really short questions. We're going to do all of them. No, I'm kidding. We're just going to do whichever one pop up. But before we get into that, a follow-up from last week's question about a 49-year-old man who lost his partner, but is looking for connection. We really tackled that in a deep way last week. He was frustrated with the apps, and someone left a comment that I wanted to share. So they said, what an amazing conversation. This may be your best Himeros live ever. All three of you guys are so brilliant and funny. That part's not really necessary but it feels good for us.
It feels good to hear that, though.
The main reason I'm writing is because I have a suggestion for the wonderful guy who sent the question in. I'm 69 years old and I live in San Francisco. And last summer I went to a gathering of the Billies, a heart-centered community that began 30 years ago as a way for isolated gay men in rural Northern California to build a community. It started with one party in 1988. Four friends put some announcements and invitations around a few places where they knew gay men hung out. They thought that they might get 20 participants if they were lucky. 60 men showed up. Well, maybe they were onto something, they thought. So they announced another party and 100 men showed up, and it's been growing ever since. And it attracts urban men like myself, but it's such a open-hearted, caring community. As a first-timer to the Billies, I felt more genuinely welcome than in any other group I've ever been involved in. Now, it's a statistical certainty that the Catskills are home to lots of gay men, single or in couples, who are feeling as isolated and alone as you are. As Davey said in the video, what you want from the world is what you need to give the world. It's clear from your letter that you want community and genuine connection. and you have the heart and the intention to make it happen. So do it. Read about the Billies and their history at thebillies.org. I'm sure that they would love to talk to you and brainstorm about what you could do in upstate New York or anywhere else. I highly recommend that you attend one of their gatherings to feel the love and experience that's possible. Good luck, and please thank yourself for reaching out. Lots of future friends are waiting to meet you.
Oh, I love that.
Me too.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. I've never even heard of the Billies. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up when this is done.
Thebillies.org. All right, so let's answer some questions, which means I have to get into my Instagram. Y'all ready for this?
No.
No. All right. So we have 672 questions.
Nice.
The ones that are from my friends pop up first. So Chad wants to know, what do you do when there's poo?
What do you do? What?
Chad wants to know, what do you do when there's poo?
Oh, you wash it off and you just keep going.
Well, that's one answer.
Yeah.
You make sure that you don't make the other person feel bad. You
Yeah.
really make sure that you're conscious of your reaction and how they feel. It's a natural thing. It happens. Just don't make them feel bad about it, whether you decide to continue or not.
Right. And you don't have to continue doing that. You do all kinds of other things.
Exactly.
I would say move it into the shower and blow each other, make out, and do a whole shower session.
Yeah.
Stay connected.
All right. Next question. Do you want to have sex with me? Yes, is the answer. You know who you are. All right, great. So, oh wow, there's a lot of questions about what my orgasms sound like. Okay. Have you ever had public sex?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Really?
No.
Like you've never had sex in a car?
I feel like everybody.
Does the car count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if a car counts, then yes. And twice I almost got arrested then.
Oh wow.
Because the first time, both times it happened, the police knocked on my window.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not one of my final moments.
Do you know that's how Will and I met the first time we hooked up? Like it was in a car and the police came.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that counts because when I think about in public, I'm thinking like where people can like visibly see exactly what I'm doing. I'm not kind of sort of hiding, like I'm truly out in public.
Like on an airplane.
Like no, like behind a building or like in the woods.
I've
you know
done
what I mean?
I've done all those things.
In the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, bathroom.
Okay.
Does cum actually drip out afterwards? What? I guess it
depends, I guess. Yeah. I mean, drip out from where?
I don't know. Does it? I don't know what's going on. Does it hurt? Does it hurt the first time you do it?
It could hurt every time.
I like great. This is great. Keep going.
Yeah, well, it depends. Again, it depends. Like if you're with a top that's experienced and knows how to open you up, it won't hurt the first time. It's not like there's some like magical barricade that like has to be like overcome. I like feel like I need to read this entirely before I share it. Can you be a full top for all your life and then turn one day into a power bottom?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And in fact, I think most full tops are actually secretly power bottoms.
Yes.
Isn't that true, Finn?
I think so.
Is getting tied up and being edged better than not being tied up while being edged?
It depends on preference. Psychology, yeah.
What turns you on about feet and socks?
That's all you.
Taboo.
Yeah, I think because there's a power dynamic that happens. Like if someone's like stepping on my face with their feet, they're like treating me like the piece of shit that I know that I am, you know?
So like ambivalence is being overturned because we've been taught since we were little kids that no, this is very true. Anything that were like gross or like, you know, it's like even we were taught that about ass when we were little kids. I just remember when I was a little kid, but like, ew, butts. And then it's like, I love to eat ass. So there's an inherent like overturning that happens when you go for something that's like, we're not supposed to want it.
It's funny that you say that because I think it's easy for us as gay men to forget that like eating ass to people who are not gay or to like the mainstream society is like really fucking raunchy.
Right. I know.
I showed my cousin the Himeros TV trailer, and anytime anyone like touched a butt or like stuck their face in the butt, she would go, like she was just like horrified by it. And I was like, that's what horrifies you, girl? We have a video coming out where someone gets fucking fisted.
Oh.
How can I bottom without needing poppers?
Oh Lord. you gotta want it.
Well, bottoming is not about what did they say? How hard someone presses against your ass. It's about your ability to relax and open up your butt. And yes, poppers can be one way to do that, which I've never done. I love getting fucked and I've never used poppers. Right. But I also like am with people who really take the time to open me up. If you're just looking at porn, they're just sticking it in and you think you're going to emulate that in your bed. Like, good luck. You're going to pull something. All right. Any fun suggestions for piss play? Lots. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Put on a pair of whitey tighties and go in the like shower stall and like piss through the whitey tighties, or do it like in a jock strap. That's fun.
Yes, and doing it spontaneously is great too. You know, like I've done that before. I've had to pee. Like, in fact, Sam was on top of me. I was sucking his dick, and I think we talked about this at one point. I wasn't feeling very submissive, and I had to pee so bad, and I just wanted to change all up. So I was like, get up, and just went to the bathroom with him, and he got in the bathtub, and I peed all over him in the bath, and it wasn't something that we planned, and it just became part of the play.
And if your partner likes it, you'll never need a urinal ever again.
Yeah, or like peeing inside somebody while you're fucking them, or when you finish fucking them.
Yeah. I want to be a bottom, but I'm self-conscious about it. How can I be the perfect bottom? Girl, you're not going to be the perfect bottom. So first of all, like, release that idea. You're going to get messy. You're going to make mistakes, and give yourself the freedom to do all of that. But I think that like it is through practice and experience that you will learn what feels good and what works for you, and you'll get better and better. So pop that pussy, girl. Okay, no one else has any suggestions. I like the silence. That's works really well in a podcast.
You answered it perftly. You didn't have to add anything to that.
It was great. And I also run the risk of talking too much sometimes. So
go out and pop that pussy. Next question.
How long does it take to learn how to give an eye rolling and toe curling blowjob?
It could take years.
What do you love about eating ass?
I love, you know what I love about it is it's like a vulnerable thing usually for the guy receiving. And I think that's a fun power dynamic for me to have. I just think it's really hot to see a guy give into that pleasure.
What do you love about it, Matt?
I think I love that when you suck a guy's dick, a lot of guys, they can control themselves. Maybe they roll their eyes, they moan a little bit, but there are some guys where they really don't react very much. Mm-hmm. But there is something about putting your tongue and just not even putting it in the hole, but just teasing around the hole and like feeling their body just tremble and them just lose that poker face. Aside from just I mean, those cakes, like it's just everything about it. It's just fucking amazing.
We did a video where we interviewed Dalton Briggs about eating ass because he loves to eat ass. And like that man recited what sounded like poetry. He talked about how like kissing the lips of their hole is more intimate than like kissing like their mouth. And it was just this like, it was really beautiful. It's in an upcoming video. Stay tuned. This is funny. We have two questions here that are completely right next to each other, and they're basically the same. How can I get ready to bottom in a jiffy? And the other person says, how do you be spontaneous as a bottom? So for me, part of that is I take Pure for Men, which like helps keep my, like when I do douche, I can douche faster. And I think some people actually do Pure for Men and then don't douche, that it's like, I'm not there, girl. But you can also like, if you know you're going on a date and you know there's a possibility of it later, like after dinner, douche beforehand so that if it does happen, you don't have to like sneak away for 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say fiber for sure. Pure for Men, love it.
I would love to know like how many gay men don't believe in douching, because when I would hook up, there would be a number of people that I talked to that actually were like, no, I don't douche. It's not healthy. You're not supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder how common that is, that men don't douche. Because a lot of them will be like,
to think the earth is flat too. Because I actually asked I filmed a video with a doctor, my actual doctor, when I was living in West Hollywood. And he said that there's nothing harmful about douching, because just that you're not going deep into your intestines and washing out like healthy bacteria. Like it's literally just like that first like 6 or 7 inches of your anus.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's totally healthy to do. And you're right though. There's a lot of people who don't do it. They're called college students, and Chad can talk about this, because this is the bane of his existence, is he loves to top, but like all the like messy ass college boys that he fucks end up shitting all over him. So Google it.
Messy ass college boys. That's gonna get you something. Messy ass college boys on Google.
Don't do that. No. Google how to anal douche. I have a YouTube video that you guys can watch. Okay. What's your shoe size? I'm like 10 and a half, 11. You guys?
9.
11 and a half.
You know what they say?
Do they?
Big feet, big footprints. That was my Instagram caption today. What's Chad's favorite position? I'm not sharing that. Rough or slow? Do you guys prefer rough sex or slow sex?
Depends on the mood.
Totally depends on my feelings. Yeah.
Generally, I like slow sex more, and I find that I'm able to enjoy it more. Whereas if it's like rough, I get tense and like I think that they're gonna hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very delicate, very tight. God, all these questions are horrible. Okay.
This is like a lightning round for sure. I love it.
Yeah.
All these questions are about Chad right now. Who's bigger? He seems very tall. Is that a problem? What's your favorite things that Chad does to you? Okay. I'm not sharing that.
Wow.
You didn't run through these?
Well, girl, I can't. It's just like this whole like thing of like questions that you just like scroll through, you know, there's no way to organize them.
I'm surprised that people would think that, they'll answer this one. Like,
I think it's supposed to be questions for them about their sex, not about, yeah. Will you sit on my lap? Like, okay, great. Like, that's a helpful question. That's insightful.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. What do you want for Christmas?
Hair or no hair? Do you prefer pubes and bum hair?
I prefer a guy's natural state. If that's smooth, great. If that's kind of hairy, a little manicured is fine. But I just don't like something drastically altered. Usually. And
what about in the front?
I think a little manscaping is okay, but I like pubes.
You like the bush?
Not like, like magazines in the 70s bush necessarily, but I do like pubes, yeah.
Interesting. Because I think the bush is coming back.
I'm not a fan of stubble. And I used to do this to myself. I used to shave my chest. I got my chest lasered. I even had some electrolysis done around my nuts when I was younger too. And I'm actually grateful that none of that stuff worked. I have hair on my chest and I have nut hair and I like it.
Yeah. That isn't, and that bristly feeling when it grows in it's not fun.
Yeah, and on dicks too, on the edges, it's they say you're not supposed to pluck, but I think if you have hair growing up on your shaft, plucking is a better option than shaving, because then you get little sharp, little razory hairs that on your lips and stuff. So I just like it. Yeah.
All right, last question.
Oh God. See. That's why I don't answer sometimes.
Lightning round. All right, last question. Have you ever been double penetrated? Go.
No. Dave?
Oh, I didn't know I was answering too. Yeah, no.
Yes.
No. I was just thinking, have I had a dick in my mouth and a dick in my butt? And I don't No, I have. Maybe I have.
That's how I feel. I'm like, maybe I have.
Yeah, it depends what your definition of is.
Totally.
Have you ever double penetrated someone?
Yes, actually, I have double penetrated someone. Yeah,
I have too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You both have got me beat.
You've never double penetrated someone?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, I really want to say.
I know.
Yeah, you know who I double penetrated?
Yes, it was last year.
Yeah, maybe a year or two ago.
Well, I mean,
girl,
anyway,
it was like,
anyway, moving on.
Okay. Great. Is your penis beautiful? That's the last question. Yeah.
Everyone's penis is beautiful.
That's right. That's the correct answer. Ding, ding, ding. $1 million for everyone. We all win. So that was fun. Thank you guys for submitting all those questions. I wish there was a way to save them and we could go back to the unanswered questions, but I guess I can't. So maybe we'll do it again another week. By the way, next week we are going to be talking about a video titled Family Matters. Finn, where can people get more of you?
FinnDeerhart.com. FINNDERHART.com.
And if you guys do have questions you want us to answer, then please send them in to Davey, DAVEY, at daveywavey.tv. Thanks so much for listening. And as always, more to come.